Music is essentially 12 notes between any octave. 12 notes, and the octave repeats. It's the same story told over and over. All the artists can offer the world is how they see those 12 notes. Bobby Maine, as played by Sam Elliott in the 2018 film A Star is Born. A fitting quote to come from a remake of a story that itself has been told over and over, with music itself becoming a larger part of the story with each iteration. In fact, both the 1954 version starring Judy Garland and the 1976 version starring Barbra Streisand and Chris Christopherson both earned a Grammy nomination for Best Original Song, with Streisand's Evergreen actually winning the award. So, director, producer, co-writer, and lead actor Bradley Cooper had his work cut out for him with the 2018 remake, work that was made a lot easier thanks to the massive supergroup of musicians he had working with him. Co-starring in the film and singing on the 2018 film's lead single is none other than Lady Gaga, who was in the middle of her 2016 album Joanne, a slightly twangy LP she put together with producer Mark Ronson, who was also recruited to the project. Quote, as soon as her and Bradley got into the film, the entire Joanne album just turned into A Star is Born for a couple of weeks, said Ronson. The single's songwriters were rounded out by former Mike Snow frontman Andrew Wyatt and Dirty Pretty Things founding member Anthony Rosamondo. This group sat around with Gaga on piano and the rest on guitar as they riffed lyrics based on a melody Gaga had put together. As the group was working on the song, Cooper brought in country star Lucas Nelson, son of Willie, to work on the soundtrack. Nelson wrote a few tracks and wound up collaborating with Gaga in the studio to bring her single to life, along with the help of his band, Promise of the Real. Quote, originally the song was different than the way it turned out, once we put my band and the musicians to it. Gaga came in and helped directed the band, my band, for the track, and so we really produced that together. The moments, the crashes of the cymbal, we did that live in the studio based on the vision that we had, said Nelson. The fully realized song was revealed to the world on DJ Zane Lowe's Beats One radio show during an interview with Gaga, and the song took off from there, topping the charts in more than 20 countries and reaching the top 10 in several more. After sweeping the charts, the song went on to sweep awards, winning Grammys for Best Pop Duo Group Performance and Best Song Written for Visual Media, as well as awards for Best Original Song from the Golden Globes, BAFTA, the Oscars, and several other institutions that I don't care enough to list. I guess you could say people's love for this song runs deep. That's right, Blockbuster Summer continues on Cover Me with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper's Shallow. That's right, it's Cover Me, the only podcast that compares famous songs to their many cover versions to find out which one is happy in the modern world. I'm your host, as always, The Snake, joined by my hardcore co-host,
Alex Mildenberger.
Alex, is that a Hulk Hogan impression?
That's right, brother.
Yeah. Crazy to see him in the film A Star is Born.
Yeah, I'm amazed they got him.
They got a lot of
He's so
big,
busy these days, you know?
Yeah, and he's a big musical talent, so it's kind of crazy to see him show up.
Did he have like a novelty music video?
He for sure had some kind of novelty song. There's no way he didn't. But,
anyway.
Yes, Alex, how you doing? I hear you're out here doing some manual labor these days.
Yeah, well, my collar is blue and my skin is dirty from just dust and stuff. Just like, because I was doing some roofing.
You were doing some roofing.
Doing some roofing. I was removing what are they called? Shingles from my.
You could have said like
garage.
my skin is red or brown, depending on how much work you've done out there and how good your
yeah.
sun
No, it was
protection
just.
is.
I mean, I shouldn't have been surprised, but like all the like tar and stuff that was coming off was sticking. It really sticks to your exposed skin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which again shouldn't have been surprised, but like it took some scrubbing to get that off.
Get that off. Yeah, it's you're an office guy, You're,
Oh, yeah.
Your desk jockey is. Like,
I am not a manual laborer, generally speaking.
No.
So.
Yeah, I put that life behind me, dog.
It's. I mean, I mostly have, but sometimes you gotta do some.
Sometimes you gotta do it, and it can be a pleasure. It can be good. Were you listening to some country rock while you guys were doing it?
We weren't, but I thought about it. Thought about bringing the stereo out or something.
Yeah, and playing Shallow here.
Playing Shallow, yeah.
All right, guys, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Yeah.
Okay. Alex, A Star Is Born. Yeah. Don't know if it's culturally relevant. I do not know if anybody still talks about this film.
I talked to people that I work with, so I'm like, yeah, I'm watching these Star Is Born, and they're like, yeah, I think I saw that a couple years back. I'm like, did you see the 1954 version? But
Judy Garland, let me tell you, what a delight.
Oh, yes, wow, what a voice. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, people liked it though. Like, people liked the movie. If I bring it up and people seem to be like, oh, that was good. But I don't know. I don't know what sort of cachet it has.
Oh yeah, I loved the song "Shallow." They're like, oh, none of them like sang it at you.
No, none of them sang the song "Shallow" to me.
Did any of them look you dead in the eyes and say, all you gotta do is trust me?
No, I didn't get a single, like, legitimate reference, but I didn't make them either, so.
This is gonna be like, people nowadays, if they're the lukewarm hot take is like, wow, the Avatar films had no cultural impact. But, like, there's a second Avatar film out now, so is that what people are gonna be saying about A Star Is Born? They're like, remember when we were all crazy about that, but nobody cares about it?
I don't know, were we crazy about it? I don't know.
I do, like, I remember the meme.
What was the
I
meme?
just wanted to get one last look at you, because I remember seeing Bradley Cooper in the car, and, and then you see...
Oh, I don't remember that being a meme.
It was a meme for a minute.
Only because it's in, like, all the movies, but I shouldn't be talking about the movies so much.
We're talking
about the song.
Talk about the song. So, Alex, did you hear this song when it was... Because I don't think either of us watched this film when it was released.
No, I didn't watch it until recently. But I knew the song just because I had listened to it. I don't know if it was... I don't remember if I heard it back in the day, like 5 years ago when it came out. But more recently, I've heard it a lot. It still gets played. Well, we tell our Alexa to play music,
right?
And it just plays music. And sometimes it's this song, and sometimes it's the Lady Gaga song from Top Gun. Like, it's all kinds of stuff.
Like, we know you guys like movies and Lady Gaga.
Yeah, that's the two things. Those and, like, Post Malone. That's what gets played a lot.
Oh, the Posty.
Yeah, but yeah, if we just say, like, play music without specifying anything. So I don't know. That just song had been played a fair amount. I guess in the last couple years, because we had heard it around the house and have had various, like, assistant things automatically selecting music for us, and that would just come up. So I was generally familiar with it.
Okay, see,
that was a very long explanation to say, yeah, I kind of knew it.
Yeah, I kind of know the song. Do you like the song? Do you dislike the song?
It's a cool song. It's chill.
It's chill. I think it gets a lot of weight being attached to this film. I think.
Yeah, in context, there's definitely more.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, because I think some of the writing is very, like, direct and, like, to the point of almost being, like, a musical. Like, one step removed from that, because it is obviously it's within the film and it is a song within the film.
Yeah, which is kind of the shtick, the conceit, I should say, of the film in some ways. Like, they're writing songs about what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, having that context, it makes it a lot stronger than without, because without it, it's almost too generic.
Yeah, which even in itself, like, kind of makes sense in the context of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about that.
This is, like, indelibly attached to the film, and I think that is...
but it's still a very successful song, like, in its own right. It is. Maybe just because it's a bit of a novelty to be like, one, Lady Gaga, hey, we know who that is, we like her. And also, what, Bradley Cooper? We know who that is, too, but we don't know him as a singer. Like, what's going on,
Yeah, what's going on here? And as Mark Ronson said, he's like, people love Bradley Cooper. He's like, you don't want to like him because he's so big, but you hang out with him, you're just like, damn, I want to hang out with this guy. He's just a nice guy. He seems cool. Seems like seems like a good guy to hang out with. I don't know. He'd probably run for president, and people would be like, I'd have a beer with that guy. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he could actually get a good run at it. Him versus The Rock would be like what we'll see in like 10 years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. That'll be an interesting cycle.
That'll be something to see. But what we're going to see now is you and me discussing the lyrics to this song, Alex.
Yep.
And they start like this. Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for?
Is it something else? Yeah, all right. So it's like a conversation, right?
Yeah.
They're talking to each other, and they're like, hey, here's some things that I see about you that you might not be happy with. Like, we're kind of calling out each other for various things, you know? And trying to say, like, this is what I see underneath. Because, like, we understand each other.
Exactly. Yeah, this song is basically written during their meet cute.
Yeah. And it's, like, kind of what they connect over initially in the movie.
Exactly. And we'll continue to play throughout the movie, but we're not going to talk too much about that. So it's these two see each other and understand each other almost immediately, and that understanding is love.
Yeah, or at least to some degree. I think there's perhaps hints in this song of ways that they misunderstand each other as well that become a larger issue later on.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I should get into that now.
Yeah, you're right, because there is like Jackson Maine, the Bradley Cooper's character, has like certain expectations of how Allie, Lady Gaga's character, is going to pursue her career, and she doesn't like follow in those lines.
Yeah, so. and that causes conflict later on. Mm-hmm. And I do think part, like the line in particular, "Are you happy in this modern world?" shows that maybe that's his perception of her that is not accurate.
Right, and because it's a layered line, because it speaks to where he initially finds her, doing performances occasionally at a drag bar, working as a server at some fucking place.
Yeah, some place there they wear fancy clothes,
some
maybe,
fancy
like
place,
a restaurant
maybe.
Or a hotel of some kind.
Yeah, but it also speaks to, like the part of himself that he maybe mistakenly sees in her. We talked last week about Hungry Eyes and that, the window to the soul and how you can kind of hallucinate that connection, but it could also be real and it's uncertain. There's maybe a bit of that going on here with that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's his line, and then we get the refrain. Is it a refrain? I guess it is a refrain.
It gets called a refrain. I kind of thought of it as a well, I guess it's not. Chorus isn't like next, but I did kind of think of it as a pre-chorus.
I did kind of consider it a pre-chorus as well.
Because it does sort of also serve as a pre-chorus, but I guess refrain is more generic, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the shalalalalalalalalo is more of the refrain, right? It has a more refrain-like quality to it.
Yes.
They call it a post-chorus.
They do call it a post-chorus. It does come after the chorus, so it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah, but also, like, what is a post-chorus? Not just something that's after a chorus.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a post-chorus in that sense, but I guess if you do a verse right after a chorus, that's also kind of a post-chorus.
Mm-hmm. Well...
Anyway.
Regardless, here's what comes after the first verse.
Yeah.
I'm fallen. In all the good times, I find myself longing for change, and in the bad times, I fear myself.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that comes a little more, or it brings a little more of the, like, addiction side of, like, the ugliness.
Yeah,
the story.
In all the good times, I find myself longing for change, and in the bad times, I fear myself. I fear that addiction. Yeah. A double play maybe on I'm Fallen. 1, I'm falling in love. 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, that falling. And there is, like, a bit of a, like, even going out, diving in. When we get to the chorus, is a sort of falling, right? To dive is to fall with style. With
style, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, there's supposedly, and this makes sense. Well, we won't. I'll bring that up again later. I'll bring it up.
Okay, sure. Yeah, and there's this dissatisfaction that runs through both these characters and through people in real life, right? This is still like a pop song that's built for people to engage with as pop music.
and like they're both in a way unhappy with their position or where they are in life, which is maybe more so her. Well, obviously he's got like a lot of success but is feeling directionless or whatever. Versus her, like she has a lot of ambition but has not succeeded in that way.
Yeah, she's being held down by the man. And yeah, there's self-doubt. In the bad times I fear myself. In the good times I'm longing for change, whatever that change may be, something more, just like...
Yeah. In terms of fearing yourself, to me that leans more towards the Bradley Cooper, towards the Jackson Maine character.
Right.
Because to that, like, if he's by himself and it is a bad time, then he's probably harming himself.
That's right.
But less of that from on the alley side.
I would say that's fair. I imagine there's maybe a fear of like inadequacy on Allie's part.
Yeah, I guess so.
But you're right, and especially in these films, the Mr. Maine, the main character, the Bradley Cooper's character, usually pushes the Lady Gaga type character away, being like, "I'm bad news, child. Watch out for me. I'm a scary guy." So there's a bit of that that comes out in that character naturally, where he's like, "I am bad, and I fear myself, and you should stay away from me."
Right. Yeah.
We get to verse 2. Tell me something, boy. Aren't you tired trying to fill that void? Or do you need more? Ain't it hard keeping it so hardcore? So he tells her on that night about like his drinking habit. And he's like,
right.
And like his relationship with his father. This is in the 2018 version. And so she gets this image of him and, the rock and roll lifestyle he's living to fill in the void of having a shit family. Or at least a shit father. And so she says, "Are you tired of trying to fill that void, Or do you need more?" Is she saying, "Do you need more booze?" Is that
it's got two meanings.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like, do you need more from life, or is it you're not filling your void enough with this stuff?
Yeah, like, do you need more meaning from what you're doing? And they do talk about, honest songwriting, because that's a thing that gets talked about in music.
Right.
And calling him hardcore, like you said, it's the rock and roll lifestyle, right? I have to wonder. No, I'm just trying to think if, because we talked about in the first verse how there's maybe a misunderstanding sort of present,
right? And
I'm trying to find something similar in this one, but I don't know. It
maybe
seems to be more accurate to his.
Yeah,
his
is there
situation.
an underlying assumption that she thinks she can fill that void?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's it. It's like more is perhaps herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is.
Then of course we get the whatever you want to call it, the post verse again.
Yeah.
We hit the chorus. "I'm off the deep end. Watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground. Crash through the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now."
All right, now we got the title line in there. We get the water, diving into the water metaphor a little more.
Which was inspired by the original death of Norman Maine in the original, the first two A Star Is Borns.
Mr. Norman Maine, yeah.
Mr. Norman Maine, wherein he drowns.
And supposedly originally in the script for the 2018 one as well. Where, he dies by drowning.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say that?
I think I did. I think I said he walked into the ocean, but I guess
he does. He just walks right into the ocean. So I shouldn't be laughing.
You shouldn't laugh, but it is true, and it's quite harrowing.
It's true.
She's off the deep end. I'll never meet the ground. So it kind of plugs into that idea of I'm falling from the post verse.
Yes, it brings in the falling, and also, the idea of diving in without really knowing. Like, you're obviously a big part of Allie's character, at least, is like she's getting into a kind of questionable situation without really knowing. It's a pretty big risk.
Yeah, they both go
her.
From meeting each other at a bar to being like, we're going to be in a relationship. You're going to get up and it is a leap of faith, as it were, especially for her.
Because she's got way more to lose. Like, she leaves her job. Like, she goes to her job and is like, no, I'm actually going to not do this. I quit and leaves.
This.
So, she's got a lot to lose here.
She's like, I got to go catch a ride with the detective from Heroes.
Yeah. Yep. Matt Parkman?
Yeah, that's his. I think that's his character's name.
Yeah, in Heroes, yeah. Don't remember his name.
I should look that up. I'll do it later.
Yeah, so it is a risk for I'll never meet the ground, crash through the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now. What's the shallow mean, Alex?
Well, I mean, we talked about shallow in terms of relationships. We talked about him, where he's trying to fill this void, and he's maybe got a shallow image of a rock star kind of thing, and of course, perhaps the idea of short-term relationships from a rock star could be considered shallow as well, right? So let's say they're trying to avoid that, right? They're like away from the shallow in terms of the depth of the relationship, their understanding in terms of like their lives. They're seeking depth in their lives as well.
It's like those people who are like, I can't stand small talk. Yeah, tell me something real. Let's kind of this. They're like
kind of.
They're like
so do you think that our universe could even withstand the concept of a loving God?
Yeah. Like, let's get real.
Yeah, right.
But there is that idea, like you mentioned, it's like not only are they far from the shallow in that they take their relationship from being like, so where are you from, to immediately being like, tell me about your traumas and fears. Do you want to come up and sing on stage with me? Like, they move very swiftly into the deep here. What does Lady Gaga think it's about, though, Alex? These kids and their damn phones.
What?
Quote, I really believe in my heart that the unfortunate truth is that our cell phones are becoming reality. It's become reality for the world, and in this song we provide not just a conversation, but also a very poignant statement. I wish not to be in the shallow, but I am. I wish to dive off the deep end, but watch me do it. I think this is something that speaks to many people, and during, I think, a very shallow time, it's a chance for us all to grab hands and dive into the water together and swim into the deepest depths of the water that we can, said Lady Gaga.
These kids and their damn phones.
Damn phones.
Oh my. That to me sounds like I get it. I get what you're saying. Probably more directed at like social media and stuff, and like disconnect. That can come with that between people. And I mean it's part of this like wanting more depth out of relationships, and I can see that. But also it seems like maybe she'd been thinking about phones recently before that interview and kind of worked that in, because that's how I talk. I'm like, I got this thing I've been thinking about recently. I'm going to work it into this other thing that makes more sense. Like, see if it fits. And it doesn't always work.
We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, I don't
there's
quite
a lot
follow
of
the phone metaphor.
Recordings of me doing things like that on the show. So
hey, we got about 5 years of that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but there is like, again, it's that idea of like getting to something real. Let's get past the surface level. Interesting, I think, is that she's off in the deep end where they can't hurt us, but they're far from the shallow. If you think about water, the safest part of the water is the shallows.
Right. Yeah, it's not really safe to be like under the surface in the deep part. That's probably the worst place to be because you can drown.
Yeah. So naturally there's like the metaphor of Norman Main's death there where he drowns and can no longer be hurt because he's dead.
Yeah.
But there's also this idea of that their relationship, because it's supposed to be a love story, although sometimes it hits that at a weird angle where it's like them together out here away from the people is something beautiful. Can't hurt us there.
Yeah. And maybe this is what you were driving at as well, but like trying to stay away from other people, like you'd want to isolate yourself, but also isolating yourself is not really healthy. Like you can feel like we want to be alone, we want to keep everyone away from us, and we just want to be together, but ultimately that's not probably the best path.
Yeah, that's not, and maybe
especially
not
for an alcoholic.
Realistic. Yeah, isolation is like they've discovered like one of the key things for drug abuse is like, oh, these people feel isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah, this song is basically just "Cover Me" by Bruce Springsteen. You're right.
Wow, amazing how everything comes back to Cover Me.
Cover Me. Hey, it's a good name. It's a good song. It's a great podcast. In the shallow, in the shallow, we're far from the shallow now. Really hammering away the point. Sort of like there's no turning back is almost what that means. It's like we're not.
There's so much, like it's very resolute. Like we're here a lot, and we got to get some shalalas in there because that's classic pop songwriting, man.
Not only classic pop songwriting, but somebody mentioned it online. They're like classic Lady Gaga poker face poker face.
Yeah, and I mean between that and the bridge, which is coming up, where she does her like
her
like that's classic
runs.
Lady Gaga too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like that, and it was kind of there was some, it was happening in the like 2010 era when she was like emerging as a star. I remember hearing it referred to as a millennial wail.
Okay.
Like songs that had like like sections in them, which I don't think is that much of a millennial thing, but I haven't seen all the evidence.
Yeah, I would say that draws on a lot of earlier music.
Yeah, like just music where they're like not totally vocal about stuff.
Yeah. The only millennial wail I recognize is Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser.
That's it though.
Movie?
I have not.
I haven't either. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, what else do we got? What else do we got in this song? Is that it?
That's it, because then it's the bridge, which is vocalizations, and then we hammer that chorus again, which is, of course, like the emotional core in some ways of the movie and, of course, of this song. Yeah, that's it. So it is about, like, it's literally about these two's relationship in the film. It's also about the ideal of finding, like, a real and powerful love in a world that is shallow. That's...
Yeah.
Is that a
these kids
summary?
are always on their damn phones.
Fucking phones! Get the kids off the phones!
Oh, man.
Oh. Tell you what, the kids can stay on their phones as long as they're listening to Cover Me, the song by Bruce Springsteen, or the podcast by you and me.
Either one works. There's probably
Either
other
one
songs
works.
called Cover Me.
No, couldn't be.
Nope. Definitely not.
There's so many things called Cover Me. It was honestly a terrible decision to name this podcast that, but we're in too deep. We're far from the shallow now, Alex.
Yeah. Under the surface.
Yeah, where nobody hears us for one. Alex, what does this song sound like though? It sounds like Lucas Wilson and the Promise of the Real.
Yeah, I don't know that group.
Lucas Nelson, sorry. I said Wilson because he's Willie Nelson's kid.
Right. Got the Will, got the Nell.
Apparently Lucas Nelson was a big inspiration for the Jackson main character. So Bradley Cooper drew a lot off of that.
Okay. Makes sense.
This is pop, like country rock more than pop country, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's still, like, there's a lot of pop in there, I think, but, like, maybe not, only because, like, it's the structure mostly, but that's not so unfamiliar for the other styles either.
Yeah, anything can take on a pop structure pretty easily.
But the music itself fairly straightforward, right? Like it's focusing on the interactions between the characters and the vocals.
Yes.
But there's the big bit is the guitar part, really, which is sort of the picked guitar melody.
Yes, inspired by Eric Clapton, apparently.
Yeah, supposedly. And that's comes in on that. That's just,
brings in that
is
tenderness
Jackson
and that
Maine
twang.
playing it in the movie, I think?
Yes, it is.
Remember. Yeah, he's got.
It's
the guitar.
not. Bradley Cooper does know how to play guitar. A little film fact for you, but did not play guitar for the film.
Right. Because, like, I mean, I don't know how good he is at playing the guitar. He sings for real in the movie. He's not as good as Lady Gaga. Like,
no, yeah,
he does fine. And even, like, I watched the live version at the Oscars.
At the Academy Awards, yeah.
And, like, you can, like, in the recorded version, he definitely, like, there's some, I'm sure there were several takes, and, you know, obviously there's several takes. There's always several takes, but, like, you got more to work with, and, like, he's not the strongest singer. He doesn't sound like he's been up on stage every night for, you know, decades kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he does a fine job.
It is interesting because we're talking about actors who are now so far removed from the root of acting where you can have just a movie actor, right? They don't need to have stage experience. They don't need to have been on Broadway or anything, which kind of used to be the pipeline was like, oh, we gathered these theater actors and now that we've developed film technology. So yeah, he maybe doesn't have that projection skill even that is like so key.
Yeah, maybe or something. I mean, there's a lot of little things. I mean, this is where he comes in. By the way, this is his verse.
He comes up for obviously.
Yeah. And like, yeah, he's fine, and he does the Jackson Maine voice, which is not totally his like natural singing voice.
Or just Sam Elliott's voice.
Yeah, but he's not
like
like
voice.
It's not like the gruffest like outlaw country thing ever.
No.
But I say outlaw country, but I don't think that's the right term.
Didn't Willie Nelson invent outlaw country?
I think so. So maybe that is it then. Yeah.
Oh, you got to know the
like-
Nashville sound to know what outlaw country is, and I'm not confident enough.
Not confident enough. But I guess like they're like rough and tumble, like gruff country rock.
This rock and roll country.
He's got some of it. He's got more of it when he's talking than when he's singing.
Yes,
for sure.
Sure.
But and there's like little things like the way he says like some vowels and like the letter R. He's not quite enunciating the way I think a professional singer would. That's fine. He still does fine, but like you can tell little things. There's just little things, and like it's what it's not a big deal. It's just I noticed it. I don't know.
See, I know we're comparing him to Lady Gaga.
True, he's up he's up with Lady Gaga, who very much is a seasoned vocalist.
Exactly, and all this to say, I think Bradley Cooper holds his own.
Yeah, he does.
He plays to his vocal range. He's got enough twang on there, even if he's not maybe enunciating properly.
Right.
And I like his little refrain, I'm falling. Were there other country singers who could probably really up the country on this? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, probably. But like he's probably a way better actor than any of them. Like
exactly, right? And yeah, the authenticity of having him sing that is good, right? If he's not playing the guitar, at least have him sing it.
Yeah, and the important part is probably just, again, their interactions and them singing together.
And not to mention, him getting outperformed by Lady Gaga is also good for the story, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always about the older guy's star fading as the new one comes in. That's kind of the linchpin of the plot.
Yeah, and even like, and she gets all the big moments in the song, right?
Yeah,
but we're getting ahead of us now.
We're getting ahead of things. You do hear a live audience on this, and that live audience is actually all Lady Gaga fans. That's how Bradley Cooper stacked the performance here when they filmed the actual scene. He's like, we just got in a bunch of Lady Gaga fans. They went fucking crazy.
Yeah, and of course they did.
Yeah,
which is, I mean, it is kind of the funny thing about the movie where it is like an extremely like experienced performer, but being presented as very much a neophyte, or at least someone without industry experience.
Or raw.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, look at this person who just came in off the street, but it's like, well, we know they didn't.
Yeah, I like when she does the scene where she like sings to Bradley Cooper for the first time. He's like, oh my God, you're incredible. I just thought it'd be so funny. He'd be like, has anybody ever told you sound just like Lady Gaga?
Like Lady Gaga. I mean, I know her as Stephanie. We're good friends, but kind of look like her too.
It's great. It's uncanny.
Wow. Yeah,
but,
his verse. What else happens in his verse? It's mostly just they keep going with the guitar there.
Yeah, and I think that's also strong, is just to have his voice in the guitar. It doesn't let him get swallowed up. He gets to put his actor voice on. He plays the tenderness, He's maybe not singing the tenderness, but he's acting it, and it comes through.
Absolutely.
Then, of course, we switch to Gaga. And
she gets her. She
sounds exactly like Lady Gaga.
Sounds just like Lady Gaga singing. I mean, she's also got like some acting going on here because you can see she's feeling a little nervous. You kind of. I don't know if I'm adding this myself, but you can kind of hear it in the way she sings. I think. Certainly, it's in the performance, where it's a little, definitely at first, feels a little less confident.
A little less confident, yeah, and it's kind of played down and soft too, and she's got that twang going on, especially on like, ain't it hard keeping it so hardcore,
trying to fit in with the country.
Yeah. Which she just comes off. She was doing Joanne, which is her like kind of country-ish album at the time,
right.
So. She's like right in the lane to be doing that at this moment.
And another interesting comparison with the Oscar performance is the way she sings it is more Lady Gaga to my ears.
Right.
And maybe it's more a difference between studio and live, right? Because like obviously it's presented as live, but like it's studio recording.
Yeah, it's also the context, right? Like she's playing. When she's doing it here, the context is for the film. When she's doing it there, the context is for all these people to celebrate Hollywood. Yeah. So, of course, she's going to give a bigger performance to play to that effect.
She doesn't have to pretend to be Allie.
Exactly. She's playing a big theater.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little different. I've read half of one chapter of this David Byrne book about music, and he talks specifically about like how just like the context and space of where music is played influences it so much.
Yeah, I mean the sound, just the way sound bounces. Even.
Yeah, he's like, if you look at these venues, they're tight and closed, and he's like, that's where you got punk rock and like country rock. They both are similar but different venues. He's like, you check that out. You wonder why they're playing big long chords in churches. It's because like if you do too many fucking notes, it's gonna muddy the sound.
Blends all together. Yeah.
So I'm expanding what he said in that to be like also like talking context, like the context of an Academy Awards performance versus the performance in the film is different.
Yeah.
But hey, she comes in.
Yeah.
She gets piano on her refrain.
She also gets like there's a violin, like this is a little bit.
That's right. Yeah.
Just kind of like a scratchy violin, sort of filtered sound.
Yeah.
And that's sort of as this arrangement builds. The arrangement's not super complicated, which is also kind of a film context thing because they sort of wrote the song overnight, and like presumably Jackson Maine and his band like put an arrangement together like real quick. Mm-hmm. So like it's got to be basic because there's just not.
Yeah, the fact that they had anything together, because Jackson Maine was shit-faced. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like he remembers the song. He's like, hang on, I'll write something and goes with this.
It's like, me and the boys have been working on a little something. It's like, there's just chords. Yeah, it's cool. And he plays his little guitar thing. Yeah, but that's when the piano chords, like you said, in the next bit.
Yeah, so we fill in, and then, of course, we hit the tender chorus, where it's like the very tender progression of the piano. They go together on the post-chorus and the sha-la-la-la-la. And then we do the big cinematic build. The drums go pretty huge. Her vocals start to go low and then go up. And that's our build to the real money chorus.
Yeah, which is like when she starts belting in the song, in the performance. And of course, the crowd goes wild.
Yeah, the crowd's going wild. Everything's getting louder. The piano's hitting harder. The drums start going in.
Yeah. Does the guitar stop? I can't hear it, but also it kind of looks like he's still playing in the movie.
Okay,
I don't know.
It does seem to stop because he does like a slot. Actually, no, it is playing.
Okay, I thought it was hard to hear. There is like a loud. There's like a steel guitar playing.
Yeah, steel guitar plays like
in Roadhouse.
Just like in the film
Roadhouse. Oh, thanks, Jeff Healey, for being in Roadhouse.
God bless.
Shout out to Jeff Healey.
Shout out to Jeff Healey. And then we get what everybody comes here for, though, to bring it back to the song.
I was distracted by Jeff Healey.
Yeah. Who's not even on this track, just to be clear. He's just also a lap guitar
died
player.
Decades before this song was ever written.
Yeah, he was actually killed during the filming of Roadhouse.
Fuck. Oh, man. It was supposed to be Sam Elliott, but he took a bullet for him.
He took a bullet for him. Yes, Alex. So what's there to say? If people know this song, they know it. It's huge. Big drum hits. She's never going to reach the fucking ground. You believe it here.
Yeah, absolutely.
The country guitar at this point is like distorted or a little bit overdriven because it's still there, but it's like a little.
Oh, there's a little more.
Yeah,
it's hitting some rails.
It's hitting some rails.
Just like he's just tapping them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets into the post-chorus. Bradley Cooper comes back. They do some harmonization as we chill out a little bit.
Yeah, the ending on this is actually like almost abrupt.
The actual ending?
Yeah, because you get like the final far from the shallow now, and then it's like done.
True, he just like does a chord, more or less, and there's like a couple notes. But did we talk about the bridge?
Yeah, the ho. Yeah, we talked about it. The drums hitting harder, the piano going loud, the country guitar is hard to hear. We said it all, Alex.
All right. I thought I was talking about the chorus, but there's similarities there.
Yeah, there is similarities there. But it is the bridge that brings things to the volume of the chorus, as bridges are known to do.
Yeah, it gets pretty intense.
Yeah. And then, it goes out pretty quick.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, simple arrangement, which works in the context of the movie. And, you know, I mean, simple arrangements work there's a reason. Like they're simple because they're familiar because they work, right?
Yes.
So it works, and it makes sense that it'd be kind of formulaic in that way. And of course, it lets the actors do their acting.
Yeah, it's again like it's built to sell the voices, right?
Yeah.
We want to hear Lady Gaga. If there was a ripping like guitar solo or something in here, or like it just
if like the other guy
sense.
came out.
Yeah.
I don't remember the other band members, but like
there's a bit where like Bradley Cooper as Jackson Maine has to be like so and so on guitar, and then they like rip a solo, and we're
this
like,
is
what is
Anthony Rossamando,
and
then he just does a solo or whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Promise of the Real.
Yeah, it's it works.
Yes, you can't have too much busy work on the instruments in order for this to serve its purpose in the film.
Yeah, and it works as a song, you know?
Works as a song. Now, there's also a music video for this. It's just footage from the film.
Yeah, it's film footage. It kind of jumps between the scene in the film where they play this and a bunch of other just random scenes in the movie. It's more or less chronological, but very like non-specific, so it doesn't like spoil the movie.
Right.
So you see them meeting, and you see them doing some having fun and performing and whatever, and then you see them fighting, and then it sort of ends there. Goes back.
Probably see her do the nose thing.
Do you see her do the nose thing?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh my gosh, this is wrong.
What's wrong, Alex?
Well, no, I like reloaded the video, and it was like, yeah, this is Shallow from A Star Is Born, but it was playing the wrong video. It was just a random other video.
Just a random other video. Oh, yeah, sometimes it'll YouTube. It's no good, Alex. I'll tell you that.
Sorry. Getting a little distracted, but that's the song.
Not your fault. That's the song.
That's the song. It's from a movie.
It's from a film.
Yeah.
That's what we've been doing this month. It's Blockbuster Summer. Worth mentioning at this point, SAG-AFTRA is now on strike.
Oh,
along with the Writers Guild of America. Let's fucking go, guys.
Yeah. Strike them down.
We're celebrating film. Strike them down. That's been the tagline of these strikes is strike them down.
Yep. Sure.
They got to get the Bowlers Union of America out there to really get the strike going. You know, professional bowlers.
Yeah, professional bowling union. Bowlers, big unionists.
Yeah.
Is that right? Sure.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Not a lot else to say on that. Just mentioning it because I know it's a bit odd to be talking about celebrating movies at a time when studios are so far up their own ass that half the fucking industry's on strike. And
then the other half just went on strike.
That's right.
Or another whatever, third? I don't know.
Or third.
I don't know percentages.
The Directors Guild really screwed the pooch on this one. They're like, no, we're fine. And now they got nothing to direct. Well, but we're not here to talk about strikes. We're here to talk about covers, Alex.
Yeah, we are. And this first one is a real strike against the artist. No, I don't know.
Yeah, it moves in a different direction. It's a strike against expectations here, folks. We got Tyler Ward and Madison in 2018.
I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground. Crash through the surface where they can hide.
Madison. I think we've talked about Madison.
I think we have.
I don't remember what for.
I could look this up for you.
It's not that big a deal. I don't remember Tyler Ward. We gotta pretend
like we know these things. Tyler Ward is a young Ward. I don't know. Alex,
they're both. I mean, they're both like YouTube cover artist types.
Yeah, this is what happens when two YouTube cover artist types meet. They go,
and we tried to avoid like this playlist at one point was all YouTube covers of like this type, and I managed to strip most of them off with your assistance.
Yeah, it's
like I had more on here, and you were like, "What about these ones?" And I was like, "Oh yeah."
I listened to the playlist like the day after you made it, and I was just like, "Fuck, there has to be
more."
Something.
And I'm glad you did. But this is the one that I had to leave one on at least, and this is it.
And it is listed on Secondhand Songs as the first one to come up. So it is. This is hot off the press. Like it's October 2018, so like the film, like Lady Gaga's like, here's my new song, and they're like, no, it's Tyler Ward Madison's song. Watch us do it.
Watch us do it, and like that's pretty much what they do.
Yeah, so Madison's a country pop singer from California. We haven't actually
Yeah.
talked about her from before, but I've seen the name, so we
sounds
probably
familiar. Maybe I've almost put him on.
almost put her on.
Madison with 2 Y's.
Yep. And
Also,
Tyler
I
Ward,
looked at her
singer, songwriter,
YouTube
producer.
channel, and she
Yes.
doesn't seem to have anything. She hasn't posted anything in a while.
Oh.
3 years ago.
Well, she's not playing the Jackson Maine role in this song, so I think we can rest assured there.
Okay.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Is that a tasteless joke? I don't know.
Let's talk about stuff.
I'm saying she didn't kill herself, Alex.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Okay, yeah.
That's good. She's probably just busy.
Okay, so imagine an acoustic guitar. There's a couple of like added high notes on the intro here, not just the like do 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 do
A few more
do.
guitar.
Yeah,
Picked notes.
yeah, but we fully remove country from at least the Tyler Ward vocals and go full pop.
Yeah, the other thing about the Tyler Ward, he sings a lot higher.
Yeah,
So he's like way up there compared to BC. Our boy BC.
Cradley Booper.
Bradley Booper. Fuck. Why is that so funny?
It's good. It's real. I didn't come up with it, but it's really good.
Booper.
I think it is Booper.
Yeah, so they put a little more what's the word I'm looking for? Harmony in it. And really what they do is, I mean, the thing about all these YouTube covers, and we've talked about this before,
Yeah,
they're like 60% resume,
right.
Which, fair enough. That's a good thing to do with your hobbies and or thing you're making money off of. I don't know how that works, but making money off of these. But so like he does more stuff. Like he comes in on the chorus. They both get to do the powerful moments kind of thing.
Yeah.
They both get their time. Yeah.
You're right. There's a lot more shared time, like on the refrains after each verse. They do them together for at least a bit of it.
Yeah, they'll harmonize or whatever, but it's not like in the original where Bradley Cooper really takes a back seat in terms of the like flashy parts.
That's right. So yeah, they're really going for like a So Tender It Falls Off the Bone version here. Like,
right. I don't think they have, like, they're not just Gaga and Cooper are better actors. So it, like, if you're comparing it directly, you just don't really get that. I didn't think so anyway.
And in terms of like also power, because a big part of this version is that it goes from tenderness to like boom, passionate, like huge. And this one, they do that, but it's just you're not working with the same set of tools here. You don't have the original version's a rocket ship. This is maybe like a biplane. Like you just don't have the same thrust.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, it's fine. They're both good singers, but they don't do much with it. And I mean, what? I don't think anyone was expecting them to upstage the original performers. Certainly, the male vocalist is stronger as a vocalist because he's actual vocalist, you know. But he doesn't. You know, it doesn't have the context, which is fairly important to this song.
Yeah, the context adds a lot, and you're right, and does maybe aid Cooper's performance, whereas here it doesn't. I think my problem is with this one ultimately is that it's just pop for the sake of pop, right? Like the original has a little bit of grit, a little weight to it. It's talking about a concept, you know, these kids on their damn phones. How bad that is.
Damn phones.
And that like it's delivered with weight to it, whereas this one is just like, look at how poppy we can sing a pop song, and it's like that's great, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do a fine job. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, what a resume, but like it's not gonna like it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make the song. It doesn't reinvent the song. Like some versions will reinvent the song in crazy ways today, but like
yeah,
this one does not.
No.
There is a music video. It's the two of them in a studio.
Yeah,
sit down on a bench at the start.
There was one last week we did. Was it last week or recently?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Two guys.
Oh,
was
yeah.
it last week? Was it Sunflower or Sunflower?
Sunflower, yeah.
Like
the
Adam
two guys in their place.
Christopher?
Adam Farley? No, Farley might not be right. Christopher? I'll tell you the names were this. Oh, no, wait, that's Hungry Eyes. Hang on. Adam Christopher, you're right, Alex. And Alex Farley.
Okay. Adam Farley, they go by.
That
that one was like, this video is a little more A little more than that, because they're standing up and moving a bit.
A bit, and we get some facial close-ups,
And, like,
and they
they-
high five at the end.
Will they high five?
Yeah, I skipped a lot of this video.
Yeah, I
because
didn't watch this whole video. I'll be honest with you.
I skipped to the end where I kind of I did like a little like scrub through, and I was like, this is a different looking shot, and it's just the high five. I was like, cool, great.
Yeah,
Let's
so-
let's
yeah.
let's
I don't have
talk
anything
about
else to say
something
about that.
much crazier.
right off the
and-
bat, kind of.
It's I think the cover itself is not crazy so much as the culture.
Yeah,
or the-
that
or
I
the
don't
genre?
really understand, but it's an interesting thing. All right, so
So this is Nightcore Scene 2019.
I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground. Crash on the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now.
yeah, so what it seems to be, and I mean, maybe you found this too. There's this Halocene artist.
Yeah, is it Halocene or Halocene?
Halocene, that makes more sense. Artist, and so there's a version of this that is basically the one we just did,
but with
but with
piano instead of
Halocene
guitar.
and Ben Schuller.
Yeah.
And you can go watch that. I don't know if you watched that.
I listened to it. I didn't watch the video.
Okay, but like that version's available.
Yes.
And then there's this version, which is that, but they speed it up like 20% or what. Like I looked up Nightcore,
yes.
the genre.
So
which
yeah,
is,
they
like,
say it's
sped
sped
up.
up roughly 20%, similar to playing a standard vinyl at 45 RPM instead of 33.5 RPM.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And so this is derived from a musical duo called Nightcore, who released pitch shift versions of trance and Euro dance songs, which then somehow gets absorbed into otaku culture. So that's why there's always anime girls on like the cover here. So these two Norwegian DJs who said we are the core of the night, so you'll dance all night long. That's why they're Nightcore.
Oh, yeah, that
were
makes
influenced
sense.
by the German group Scooter and their songs Nisaha and Ramp. And they said there were so few of these kinds of artists who were doing these sped up mix. We thought that mixing music in our style would be a pleasure for us to listen to. And Nightcore has become a style of music, a way to make the music happier hardcore, as they say. So it gets this huge following, which gets bolstered by TikTok. You see a lot of Nightcore on TikTok.
Okay, so this
It's
is
these-
more recent. This is like pretty recent thing.
Yeah, so it started in the 2010s getting popular.
Yeah, because I think there was a kind of trend in like hip hop for a while where you got a lot of like chipmunk vocals.
Yeah, and that's like a little more like, I think, from the roots of like chopping and screwing, which we've talked about
Right.
years ago on the
Yeah,
show.
we've talked about that.
Where this is literally just like in a similar fashion to the way people will get around copyright on YouTube by having a song
By
play
changing the
slightly
speed.
faster. This is just that. So there are people who are like crazy about this, about Nightcore, and then the skeptics are like, this is just plagiarism. Like, you haven't done anything to the song except sped it up a bit.
Right, it just changes the speed. This, of course, is their own. I think
It
the person
seems
is
to be
doing
the
their
case because there's two names
song,
listed,
yeah.
Nightcore Scene and then Nightcore by Halocene. So it seems to suggest
own, they're
that
just doing it to
that
their
they're
own
doing
music.
this.
It's
Insane. The kids are
interesting.
not all right. Lady Gaga is right. It's these kids and their
It's kids
damn
and
phones.
phones speeding up their music. It definitely does. I mean, it makes it more lively.
Sure.
I will
yeah.
100% give it that. It also makes it a little chipmunky. Which
Especially
if you don't have
the
a stomach
female
for that,
vocals.
then like this is not gonna be for you. When I first heard this, I was trying to think of like, I didn't realize it was just like they did a normal version and then sped it up. I
Yeah.
assumed that there was a version that they sped up, but because like I know, with Alvin and the Chipmunks, originally they had to like record the song super slow, and then they could speed it up and just like pitch shift it up. But like they would have to sing it at like halftime exactly. So I was trying to like imagine like how slow are they doing this song? But no,
Right.
it's actually not that much faster.
Yeah, so it's a weird thing. You're right, because it is livelier. And going from the original Halocene version to this, the piano sucks on the original. I like it a lot more on this.
Yeah.
But the vocals, which are the main selling point on this, are grating. Whereas on the original, they actually sound about as good as Tyler Ward and Madison.
Yeah. It's kind of same style.
Yeah.
There are. I mean, this one, very close to the original. More male vocalists. Yeah, same. All that stuff. All the notes are the same. One thing that I thought was very amusing is the way the speeding it up affects the vibrato. It's just like so inhumanly fast.
Yeah.
Which is like almost kind of like what Post Malone does on some of his vocals, where he gets that, like he'll do that like really fast vibrato effect, which is presumably just like post effects kind of thing.
That's post effects, all right.
But this is just like faster, I think.
Yes. Do you think this is meant to simulate how Jackson Maine would have heard the song? Because he's kind of like fucked up all the time.
I feel like he'd
hear it slower. You think it'd be
or like in bits.
Yeah, this one, I hated this, Alex.
Hated it? Okay. I'm just like so amused by its existence. That's my reaction to a lot of these. I'm not a fan of the style.
Peeling it back and seeing that there's this crazy subculture that exists.
It's like fascinating.
It's fascinating. But I very much fall on the line of the dude who's like, this is plagiarism that people are celebrating for some reason. Like, it makes no fucking sense to me.
It's very strange.
It's very strange. Not so strange is finding out that Jack Conte got his fucking fingers on this. We're going to talk about our next cover.
Pomplamoose.
In 2019. Alex, Pomplamoose, your favorite group?
Favorite band of all time.
Jack Conte and the gang.
I almost put Pomplamoose and Scary Pockets because they've both done a version.
They've both done. What is the difference? Because there's like 6 guys on this version.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
Did he just kick his wife out of the studio for the Scary Pockets one?
I guess they just like kept playing. I mean, it's no Hulk Hogan. A Real American. I looked up the Hulk Hogan music video. It's called Hulk Hogan, A Real American. And it features Rick Derringer.
The gun?
The guy who does Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo.
Oh, Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo.
Exactly.
Nice.
Sorry, off topic. Yeah, Pomplamoose.
Pomplamoose, Alex, what if we just fucking made a chill ass? Is this how Jackson Maine hears it when he's on like prescription opiates? Maybe.
Yeah, this is it. This is that one. Yeah, they went chill. They're more of like they got their indie thing going on, right?
Yeah.
So we definitely that's the feel of this one. And then you get a little bit of that, I guess, jazzy side of things, with the guitar.
Yeah,
kind of like shell chords or something like that.
Yeah, a little bit of noodling around some chords there.
Yeah. But they kind of build up. Like, okay, so this is a duet between Jack Conte and Natalie Dawn. They are married, and they are the sort of core of Pomplamoose.
Yes.
This group that does these covers. He's not really so much a singer either. Similar situation to the original. To
Mr. Cooper. Yeah, he is not a singer, and he only knows how to get one tone out of his synth, and he uses that for every fucking song he does.
Yeah, I mean, that's his... Is that like a Rhodes or something like that?
Yeah, must be, right?
Or I don't know. I can't remember. Some kind of...
It's not a Rhodes, it's Rhodes adjacent.
Yeah.
It's not a Rhodes, it's a Streets.
Yeah, something similar. Something equivalent. Wurlitzer? No, it's not a Wurlitzer. That's the general description of this.
That's the general description. Yeah, it builds up a bit. She comes in. We got a little more drum action.
The way the vocals are done is very different because all the other ones so far have been very like pop. So you really get the like belt on the vocals. Mm-hmm. She doesn't really do that. She kind of does the... I would compare it to... I don't know what I would compare it to. But basically she does a bunch of layers, There's a bunch of like multi-tracking going on. She sings higher. She sings like a bit stronger, but it's still kind of that like breathy indie vocal. Yeah, thing.
Breathy indie, chill, lo-fi to study to kind of energy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of, it's an adaptation version. It's still pretty close structurally. but it's in
Yes.
this other style where you get a little more of that like indie / jazz sort of sound. You get the electric piano and the sort of soft guitars.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of softness to this version. Even like the cymbal hits and stuff are like really toned down in the track.
Yeah, and like the harshest thing is the guitar playing probably during the chorus.
Yeah.
Just playing.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, it's
So yeah, it adjusts the sound, but keeps it pretty close structurally.
yeah.
I guess new arrangement.
Yeah, so like even when we hit that, like when we hit the big chorus after because she does the vocal bridge, like you said, structurally very similar. That's when the drums are allowed to let loose as much as they will, so they actually get a bit loud
Right.
there, and we get backing Oz kind of filling out the space. This one is about like filling out space.
Yeah, she does, especially like when she gets in her vocal parts, because that's kind of what happens there. And I do like the idea of singing it in this style, just to move it away from the like really pop focused thing,
Right.
you know, and to not invite the direct comparison with Lady Gaga,
For
because
sure.
that's a tough comparison.
Yeah, you don't need to compete on the like belting grounds. I don't think
Yeah.
you got to go there and scream your heart out, but I do think you need to give us something emotional to hook onto. Yeah, I just don't think there's enough emotional energy in this one, Alex. I feel like the vocals are too sedated.
Yeah, well, I feel like part of it is, again, like Jack's not so much a performer, so you don't really get that same chemistry across.
Sure, but these two are literally in love
True.
and perform
That's true,
music together.
but it's hard to get that across when you're singing, even if it's true.
I suppose so. But I mean, even he does his verse refrain and he's out, like he's gone. He's like, see you,
True, he
goodbye.
like does not come back, and then it's all Natalie.
So it's all Natalie. I don't think she really delivers a lot in the emotion. She sings fine. She sings, in a certain style, but
True,
there's no
I guess in the like indie space, you tend to sing a little more detached
yeah.
a lot of the time, and it kind of has that. Which
So then, yeah,
doesn't
typically-
necessarily serve the song.
Yeah, like typically in those scenarios, we can pull a little bit of emotion from the instruments, but in this case, the instrument's role is to be chill.
Yeah.
So it just like emotionally, this one is just out to sea. I feel like there's nothing to latch on to.
Nothing there.
But yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. It is a smart move to try and not be Lady
A
Gaga.
direct comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, usually how I end up with these Jack Conte related things is like, it's all right.
Yeah, it's like it's good that this guy
but
has
they've
a
usually
hobby.
got like something lacking.
Yeah, they always fall a bit short for me.
Yeah, and we keep talking about them.
we keep talking about them because sometimes you got to fill the list out.
Sometimes.
Now, I was just complaining about Jack Conte's tone and how consistent it is. I'm going to flip around and say I love the tone of our next cover artist here.
Peter Bence. Peter Bence.
In 2019, baby. Peter Bence, Hungarian pianist, composer, music producer. Apparently, maybe not Peter, might be Pater, right? You've seen
Peter?
it with.
Oh, maybe.
You were talking about that last week.
Was
But he seems to go professionally everywhere I see him online. It's Peter Bence, so maybe he just like anglicizes it.
Oh, yeah. Is there like an accent on the
Yeah,
E sometimes? Yeah, I don't
think
see
so.
it anywhere, but I swear. Have I seen it before? I don't know.
you have because you told me about it.
I
and
told you
took
about
your
this?
word for it.
Man,
Yeah.
that's been like 7 whole days. Like,
Yeah, like if you go to his Wikipedia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
I remember talking about that now.
Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
piano player. We talked about him way back for Africa. I don't think we've talked about him since. Like, we've brought him up a couple times.
Yeah, we've talked like about him, but not about a
Maybe
cover.
one
of
other
his.
cover, maybe.
Maybe.
But I don't
But
remember what
I
it
don't
would
recall
have
it
been.
if it was. In fact, I don't. This is again a thing I can research very easily.
Yeah, but
No,
basically he's like a
yeah.
real good piano player.
Yeah, I think it's important to talk about the music video in tandem with the song itself.
I agree, because I learned so much from that music video about what he's actually doing.
Okay,
And
we
it's
talked about him for Under
fascinating.
Pressure as well.
Oh, I thought we talked to John about
That's
it.
right, and that's what would have happened. That's yeah. So yeah, he works the piano like it is its own like orchestra, like it's its own
like it's many
sections and
different things. He's doing. I mean, it's maybe a bit gimmicky, but like it's cool. It's fucking cool,
It's
man.
cool, and yeah, he's very technically skilled. Like the runs and things he does with one hand.
Yeah.
all fucking
I mean, yeah, it's like virtuoso playing, like absolutely very
exactly.
good.
He's got
and
a
then he's
looper
also
in the
got
mix.
these like sort of novel things happening at the same time. And he's got a looper.
Yes,
The movie, no, the
that's
pedal.
right. Yeah, Bruce Willis is there helping him out.
And like there's a kid who's telekinetic, I think.
Joseph
Making the
Gordon-Levitt's
sounds.
there as well. I've never actually seen the film. I would like to watch that one, but
One day I'll watch
One
that
day.
movie. So he like starts off by playing the guitar part, but he's plucking the piano strings like by
Yes.
hand, and then he loops that to keep it going, and then he switches and plays like a piano accompaniment, which is like kind of all him, right? Like it's twinkly, but it like kind of does the melody and it kind of does whatever.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
which is like a very Peter Bence sound.
Yeah,
but,
like
that
high
slots
twinkly
right in.
piano. Yeah, and then he loops that.
And it is worth noting that it's also being put through like an effects box,
Sure.
which is run through that machine he's got up on there, because he does take that effects box off for the chorus to give us
Yeah.
just raw piano. Which
He
is
does. He drops it out. Because those are kind of the two things he loops, and then he goes into the next bit for like the intro, and he's muting the piano strings with his hand
Yeah.
while he plays the melody,
insane.
like the main melody. Yeah, and then there's a bit with strings, and he like has like horsehair or whatever, like, and he's like
Yeah,
bowing.
he like arranges it and like bows it.
Yeah, like the piano strings again to make the strings sound, and it's like, what's going on? This is all a piano.
One piano, you get so many different tones out of it. Like when I was just listening to it, I was like, oh, cool. He's got this very staccato, like note progression for
Yeah.
the vocal melody, and that's him muting. He's fucking whole arm
Yeah.
over to reach in to mute it.
Mute the section. Yeah, so like pretty cool, pretty impressive. I was impressed. And then once he does that for a while, he goes back and starts to play that accompanying part, sort of.
Yes.
But like the looped part's still going, and he's going, so he's like playing with himself. And then like also it's like kind of turns into a more intense version of the main melody. So we got
Yes.
that build. Plus he's playing part of the accompaniment. Plus there's the stuff that was already playing from before, and like he starts playing chords, and then oh my gosh, big chorus.
Tell me about it,
chorus. And he's
Alex.
just banging on the piano.
Yeah.
He's just as
And-
he's like playing these really fast like bass chords.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's all the elements. I wanted to describe them because it's like there's so much going on.
Yeah, and it's what a cool trick to like give us all this filtered like wonder. He sets up a beautiful soundscape, and to hit the chorus with just like every kid's dream, just banging on a piano.
Yeah. And I really appreciated the like, because I already have a positive opinion of Peter Bence. I was like, this is gonna be a
Yes.
cool piano performance, and then I heard it and I was like, yeah, it's a cool piano performance, and then to realize, it's even more. To watch the video and see like,
Yes.
there's not like he doesn't have a cellist like in
that
the
it
room.
really
Like,
is
it's all him.
just him. That
Yeah.
is really what takes this to being something cool, and that's, I guess, what you kind of said, like maybe he is kind of a novelty performer, but it is, in my opinion, such a great novelty to see.
It works
and
on
watch.
me. Yeah.
It's quite rich, and he's smart enough to get the fuck out of there. 2 minutes 40 seconds. He's
2:40.
like, I already
Yep.
did a big chorus. I can't make a larger chorus, so
Yeah,
I'm
and I
just going
think-
to go.
We've even like, because we've talked about him a couple times, similar
Mhm.
things of like, instrumental version, shorten it down because you're just repeating yourself.
Yes.
And if you're going to do a novelty type thing, I say novelty, still very skilled, but there's a novelty aspect to it.
For sure.
Doing it more and more times, you just, it wears off.
Yeah, so yeah, like if he was to repeat a section, we might go like, okay, like we've heard this before.
It was before, still real good. Still real good at
good.
piano. But
Yeah.
no, he doesn't. So, very, very good.
Yeah, so like he manages to plug in emotion into this thing. It's without having vocals in it. And is it the same emotions that we get from the original? Maybe, maybe not. But it's good. It's a rich version, and it's a delight to watch above all else. I say watch this one.
Yeah, watch it.
If you're going to listen to it, because
Watch
it's
it.
very
Listen
cool
to it,
see.
watch it, and then if you want to hear it again, keep listening to it. But
Keep listening to it. Yeah, fucking nothing else to say about this one, Alex. Let's talk about a very interesting group, Keno, in 2019.
Far from the shallow
yeah, apparently a super group, but also they're Norwegian, so I don't know.
I
the
don't
other
know
groups.
any of these guys. Sammy, Fred Buljo,
Yeah.
Alexandra Rotan, and Tom Hugo. And I didn't write down any of the accentation there, so that's a complete
Yeah.
butchering.
And Sammy is a ethnicity.
Oh, the Sami
Yeah.
people. Or Sami, maybe. The one doing what is
Sami.
called a yoik.
I don't know, man.
That's the hook of this one, and it's
Is that it? Is that what the sounds are? Yoik?
Joik, sometimes written as yoik,
Right.
and that is what so if you don't have the context of that, it sounds fucking insane.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I was so excited when I heard this. Like, this
I
is,
know, I
it
heard
sounds
that.
so silly, but like so much fun.
So much. It's such a, and that's okay, like this isn't a good like the weight of shallow version,
No,
but
no,
it
no,
is
no, no.
like ripping club music.
Yeah. Definitely like in that like dance vein, but also what we've been talking about kind of indirectly comes in on this. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't even know
doing
if we're allowed to
vocalizations.
make those noises. Like,
'Cause, like,
I don't
it's-
know if that's reductive or like it's culture inappropriate. To bring it to North American white, the closest thing is when that like kind of country dance song where that guy goes, "Honey, I'm good."
Yeah, it's kind of like a yodel type
Yeah.
sound. And it happens like 4 times throughout the song. And it's kind of like a dance break when it happens.
Yeah, including on the bridge it happens. He does a lower version of it.
Yes, he does that as well. Is that Fred
I'm not sure which one
doing that?
does it.
Because the group is a rapper and 2 singers. So I assume he's doing that, and the
He's- that's
singers
maybe
are
the rapper, yeah.
But I don't know, because it
he
is
is- okay,
a duet, as many of the other ones are, between the 2 singers.
Okay, yeah, it says he's a Sami or Sami rapper and yoiker. Again, we're butchering words left and right here. I'm
Yeah,
so
I think
sorry.
it's just Sammy.
Okay, and he's a former member of the Sami Parliament of Norway. So
Damn. What a group.
truly a super group. So yeah, he's ripping that out. That's what we open with. We've kind of talked about on this podcast how like the promise of the club and dance music would never happen for you and I.
Never really happened. But
I
this
wonder,
makes me
like-
believe a little bit.
Yeah, this makes me wonder if like we should be going to European clubs because like maybe they've got it right. But let's talk more about it. So yeah, you get this yoik introduction, and some big like synth chords.
Yes, I mean, instrumentation completely different. It's all
Yeah.
dancified. You get those electronic drums. You mentioned the big synth chords.
Yeah.
Bunch of like breakdown bits where you get the like bouncy synth. That's even like the first verse where like you kind of get a filtered bouncy synth.
Dum, dum, dum,
Going.
dum, 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 dum. Yeah.
And like lots of stuff, twinkling, so many clapping sounds.
Yes.
And snapping as well.
Clapping, snapping, a little muted rhythm
You
guitar.
gotta be down a bit. Yeah, just more of the yoik. Just yoik.
Yoik! I hear. I was gonna try to make a Zoinks joke. I got nothing.
So it was Old Man Jenkins. Yoik.
Yoik.
Yep.
So yeah, you get. You're right. There's a big emphasis on snaps and claps because there's also a big emphasis on getting to the chorus here. 'Cause
Yeah,
we don't-
absolutely. But it's kind of extended, right? Because like you get the chorus and you kind of dance for that, and it's sort of a build, especially in the post chorus. But like you still get the dance thing, and it's huge in the chorus. But then you get a little post chorus, which builds into the yoiking.
Yes.
So it's like a second chance at it.
Right. Yeah, it really is. They do treat the chorus as like a build into the post chorus, the shallow, low.
Yeah.
And then that builds into your big yoik section, which really does feel like the dance focus of this song.
Yeah, and it's something else, man. I don't have all the right words. I don't think they're all English words to describe this. I don't have them, but
I, like,
this is.
truly-
I don't know why we even keep making music. Quite frankly,
frankly, yeah. Now we
we
have
peaked.
this. We've peaked. Can you imagine if this was the original version for the?
oh man, I just want to see the
Unreal.
Norwegian version of this film.
I'd pay good money for that, but let me tell you, yeah. So you get that. Eventually, the yoik combines with the chorus. So we get them both at the same time as we reach the end, right?
Yes, they bring them together.
They bring them together. We often talk about like dance versions and versions in general that have like a crazy hook that shows up for like a second and is left behind.
Yeah, and you're like, why don't you do that again?
And
That was fun.
That was fun. These guys were like,
do
no,
it.
this is what this song's about.
Yeah. End is a cappella.
Yeah.
They fade everything out and just like I think maybe some clapping, maybe,
Yeah.
which still counts as a cappella in my books.
I'll say
And
that's
those
fair.
books, I
Yeah. Vocals are, pretty good. Electronic dance
Yeah, we
tracks.
have not discussed the vocals, but yeah, they sound they do fine. They do fine.
Yeah, the second chorus is bigger than the first one, so you're like any good dance track, you're building up there.
Of course.
We break down for that bridge to get the more bassy yoiking. It might just be, I don't know if there's an ing on the end. It's not an English word, so I don't know. We're doing our best here, folks.
We're adapting the words.
Yeah, and we end on the just an acapella as well, but not acapella yoking, just acapella. We're far from the shallow now.
Mm-hmm.
What a ton of energy on this one, Alex. There's a lyric video for this, which is just like a visualizer of like low poly like landscape. It's all gray. There's these low poly hills. Then we see a low poly dog, and then a low poly fox, and then a low poly stag a bit later, and then at the end, they're just like standing around, and like the mountains and shit are all colorful. It's you don't really need to see it, but it exists.
I didn't watch it.
Fair enough. Did you listen to the Philharmonic and Jules Aurora in 2019?
I did listen to the Philharmonic and Jules Aurora.
Okay, so the Philharmonic are an a cappella group of Filipino Americans.
Yep.
So Philharmonic is spelled F-I-L to
like
coincide with the
Filipino.
spelling of Filipino. They're
Yeah, there you
Filipino
go.
harmonics.
And they harmonize.
And they harmonize.
Yeah.
And Jules Aurora is a Filipino-American singer, songwriter, actress, and model who featured on the hit show The Young and the Restless.
Ooh, that's a
long-running soap opera. That's
Everyone's been on that show.
yeah.
I
even
was on
had
that show.
Yeah, you had a quick spot on there. You're somebody's dead twin, or
Oh yeah, I didn't have a line. It's a lie. I was never
you
on
were
that.
just a
It's
corpse.
just a dead body.
So yeah, these guys, the Philharmonic, they've been on the Sing Off. They perform with John Legend and Shawn Mendes. This is an a cappella version plus Jules Aurora.
Yeah, who also sings. So I mean, yeah, and it is an a cappella version. They don't do the pretend instruments thing,
Oh, I mean, a guy does pretend to be drums.
except for the beatboxing.
Yeah.
It's a little more R&B.
Yeah, for sure.
Styling.
Yeah.
A
A little Boys to Men.
little Boys to Men. I feel like Boys to Men could crush this.
Yeah.
But this is not Boys to Men. But they definitely like in that style, especially because I mean, just the way the beatbox drums are. You know,
Yes.
they're more of that sort of that style. And yeah, the one thing, I mean, the harmonies kind of, because there's like a lot of them throughout. I thought it felt pretty even.
Yeah, it
Because
did
of
feel
that?
very even.
So there's not a ton of that like build, and you don't get a whole lot of that side of it.
Yeah,
But
it's like
it's pretty basic. They do the duet. They do the harmonies.
They do the harmonies. Yeah, you get a couple little flourishes from the harmonies. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, the little vocal runs or whatever. She does one even at the end. I do like. I kind of respect that they let it stand on its own. And it's not really like a gimmicky thing, because a lot of the a cappella groups that are very gimmicky, I'm not a fan of. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. I will say I watched. I mean, they have a video where they're just
Of them like
basically
in a studio.
in studio doing the song, and I liked that better
Yep. Okay.
than just listening to it. I don't know. There's something about this song that where like if you see them performing it together, it works.
Well, that's
better.
kind of our like official stance on acapella, like flat out.
Yeah, true. Just like seeing the performance is a lot more entertaining than listening to the recording for sure.
Yeah, and like again, talking about context, like seeing these guys do it with their mouths and lips and throats in person is like, oh wow, very cool. But listening to it where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen to Shallow on my break, or for entertainment purposes at home, it's like I need something that's got a little more oomph to it. Like you said, this one's very level, very even. So even when they do the bigger chorus, it's not like the harmonies don't have the power to fucking, really light us up like a big drum roll or anything. They were just like,
Yeah.
they're the same level.
Yeah. And it just doesn't hit those heights. Unfortunately.
And your beatboxer can't like beatbox harder. He can't sound like more drums. Like,
Yeah, he's only got so many drum sounds he can make at once. It's one.
It's one drum sound. But yeah, that's these guys. Pretty standard fare. But you know who's not standard fare? Set Your Sails and Mike Perez in 2022.
Yeah, Set Your Sails. They're like a metal or possibly hardcore band. Possibly some combination of those two things.
Yeah, they make brutally catchy albums. They refuse to put a genre to their description. And it
Okay,
upset me.
well, I did, and I think it's pretty accurate. But they don't need to. It's not their
Yeah.
responsibility.
What'd you get on Mike Perez? Is this another one where it's like this is a member of the band who also has solo stuff, or
Mike
what?
Perez is not a boxer. That's
Okay,
a different guy.
a different guy.
He's a singer. He's from the band No Bragging Rights.
Okay,
And he has a brother named Mario.
nice, Mario
That's
Perez.
the facts I got on this guy.
Great facts, Alex. So yeah, this is like you said, your hardcore metal version. Isn't it hard keeping it so hardcore? Not for Set Your Sails,
Not for Set Your Sails.
who are
Nope.
from Cologne, Germany,
Yeah.
where they invented smelling stuff.
Wow, the real cradle of humanity.
That's right. So yeah, like you said, metal. So we get like a more like kind of like One by Metallica version of the guitar.
Right, where it's picked, but like very distorted.
Yeah, very distorted, pretty echoey.
But then like pretty quickly break into like much louder version, and they kind of go
Yeah.
back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, with this really beefed up synth.
Yeah. Think of that metal synth thing going on.
Yeah.
There's, I guess, the other thing about it, like it just starts with Mike Perez because he's the male vocals on this.
Yeah.
I think he does a pretty good job in the broken down chorus, and then they build a lot over that, where he just kind of like cuts out the pick guitar and bring it back in.
Yeah.
And then he does this like screaming thing where he screams, "Oh whoa, yeah!" I have a timestamp. It's 106.
Is it screaming or is it meant to kind of mimic like? I guess it's kind of because they play it like he's like shout. It's like
True,
almost-
it's not really screaming, but it's like way in the background.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's screaming from 3 rooms away, but it's actually just like filtered and turned down.
Exactly. It's almost meant to be his version of the Gaga bridge.
I guess so, just a little bit, like very briefly though,
Very brief. You're right. It is brief.
because that's when it crashes into the bigger like metal bit, and the other singer whose name I forgot to look up.
Oh, I also forgot to
The
look
Set
that
Your
up.
Sails singer. She, does like heavy metal vocals and does some like unclean vocals.
Yeah, we get some
growly,
unclean
screamy stuff.
vocals layered in, which I thought was tight. It was a
Yeah.
cool choice. So
Right,
his
you get
his
that
verse,
vocal
yeah,
layer where you have 2 styles, which is cool.
2 styles, and they like I've never heard them blended like so seamlessly.
Oh, really?
Like they're almost the same
Really?
voice.
I mean, I hardly even noticed. It's very seamless.
Yeah, it's so I was like, wow, that's actually really cool because usually you can pretty distinctly tell. You're like, okay, yeah, there's the unclean. Here's where one starts and the other ends, right? And this one, it's like,
Yeah.
they're coming together like right on the line there.
Yeah. Although there are points where it goes straight to like all unclean
Yeah, for sure.
and kind of back and forth, but
Yeah, you really amp things up for the second verse because it's all like echoey, like synth on Mike Perez's. It's like very spacey.
Yeah, here's a question for you.
Okay,
Do they harmonize on the chorus, or like?
I think maybe.
Because I thought maybe, and I was like, someone's screaming. Is that Mike?
Yeah, is that Mike?
Someone's screaming.
Like it could be.
But I don't know. But they do harmonize at the start of the like next chorus. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. Second question: do they say "We're the Shallow"?
Do they? Maybe. Hang on, I'm coming up to it now.
Sounds like it, kind of.
Crash to the surface. They say "far from" on the one at 212 at the very least.
They definitely say "We're far from the shallow."
Oh, but then in the post chorus.
Shallow, yeah.
Let me hang on. I'm listening now. Hang on.
It's hard to tell.
Kind of weird. I'm hearing like "win the shallow."
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, not a huge deal.
Not a huge deal. Yeah, we got vocal layer on this. Get some chopped up screaming. What else is big in this one? They scream.
They scream, they metal. It's heavy, you know? They duet. It's loud. It's screamy.
They sure duet.
Oh, I mentioned that they do the bridge. I don't know why I was so... that's in my overall notes, but they do the bridge, so it's true.
Yeah, and with one person screaming, "In the shallow!" over it. And there's like, usually the bridge is like, we let the vocals kind of take front. This one, we've got really gnarly guitar going. The O's are there. It's a different take for sure.
It's got the intensity. I think if it's missing anything, it doesn't have much chemistry to it.
Yeah.
I think we're going to find out why that is in the music video.
Oh, what are they, brother and sister or something?
No, they're just like never... It's. I think it was recorded completely separately. Is all.
Okay, yeah, because the music video is just like a lot of studio shots.
Yeah, exactly. But the band and Mike Perez are never shown together.
Okay,
so it makes me think that they just did this completely separately.
Right. Yeah, there is like as much as the vocals are like, at least I like her vocal performance. They're good. You're right. There is a bit of like emotional lacking and probably a bit more emphasis on the instruments.
The intensity of it.
The intensity, yeah. And I think that intensity call is good. It's like, whoa, it's an intense
relationship. And plus you do get, like, someone screaming. Maybe it's him. But it seems like there's some more, like, duet elements, too.
Yeah.
So, like, you kind of get it from that. So, like, it ends up working.
Yeah. And this, and also a song that's, like, kind of, like, about drowning, like, plays well to this genre, I think.
Because you're, like, drowning in just, like, sound.
Yeah.
And it's all encompassing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of the video?
I like skimmed it.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to it. It's kind of like it's got that some intensity. It's mostly them performing.
Yeah.
There's sort of two. There's a shot of Mike Perez, who, by the way, holds his mic ass up. Not that that's that important. Some performers do.
That's
Mike
a classic move. That's like 90s new metal.
Yeah, exactly. Including Mike Perez. And aesthetically, lots of bright lights, occasionally seizure-inducing camera work. It kind of shakes around as they like headbang. And the lights are very flashy, so you get to see that. And then the one other shot, the band performing, that's one. And then the other one is there's sort of a red brick wall, and you see their silhouettes.
With their silhouettes.
So that's kind of like the three big shots, other than like close-ups on the various.
Yeah, that's your kind of big thing. It's fine. It's like it's a totally passable music video for having a music video.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out if this has 2022, so it didn't. It might have been like a COVID thing where they're like, we gotta be separate. But it's tough to say if that would still be going on in May of 2022. It's like, maybe.
Maybe.
That would be right on the cusp of when I went back into the office for my work, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on in Cologne, Germany. They're probably all just itching to get back to the office and smell each other, you know?
Working at the smell factory.
Working at the old scent factory. Alex, it's time for a final verdict.
Yeah.
We've talked about all the covers. We got 3 categories this week. The worst version, the best version. And the version that I was really hoping I'd have something at the end of that sentence, Alex.
Version that would go best in the film A Star Is Born.
So, yeah, the version. Well, here, let's make it a little. I already used that one for Sunflower, though. Film restoration. Fuck.
Oh, man.
I should have thought of that. And the version, whose voice you'd like to steal.
Oh my gosh.
You stole my voice.
All right.
That's our three versions. Alex, what's the worst version of this?
I mean, there are a few. I mean, for me, it's got Tyler Ward and Madison. That's
a fair choice.
The least interesting to me by far. All of them, other ones, I didn't love all of them, but like, it was, yeah. That's just it's not my style. It's not a thing I generally enjoy, and it's just kind of the most generic version of that.
Yeah, I don't think it has a take either. Like, you can do an acoustic version with a take, and that one doesn't have it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think a good choice, Alex. I think the only one worse, and by way of doing slightly more effort to make it slightly worse, is Nightcore by Halocene / Nightcore Scene.
Right.
Because it takes a bad version, the fucking Halocene version's nothing to write home about. And then it's like, what if we just sped it up to make it sound worse? They succeed. I don't like the culture around it. I don't like any part of it. So, yeah, Nightcore by Halocene.
Well, I mean, it's these kids and their damn phones.
It stands in direct defiance of Lady Gaga and her vision of this song. So it's got to be the worst. Let's brighten the mood, though, Alex. What's the best?
The best version. Oh, man. I enjoyed a few of these.
Yeah,
let me tell you. I'm going to throw it to Peter Bence because I'm a piano player myself and I am very, very impressed. I'm not even that great a piano player or anything. Very impressed by this.
I won't to that. I'll let you say that about yourself, but I'm not going to agree to it.
I mean, I'm not like this level, right?
No, who is?
I'm not like professional level, you know? This is absurd in the best way. Very entertaining.
Very entertaining. Yeah, a wild version, and it's incredible. I will never have the Keno version leave my head, though.
No,
and
it's impossible.
Is it a good interpretation of Shallow, like, from the emotional core?
It's the best.
I don't know, but listen, dog, I'm going to listen to this version again later. I know that for a fact. It's the best version.
I've shown this to everyone, just right off the bat.
Right off the bat, because it's something else, dude. It gets in there. Alex, whose voice are you going to steal?
Oh, it's Fred. It's Fred from the Keno version. I gotta do that, right?
You gotta do that.
I don't know how to do it properly, but I would if I had his voice.
Yes. And you're going to steal it. That's a good call, Alex. A great choice. I'm going to kind of half cheat here and say I'm going to steal Peter Bence's voice. By which I mean his piano voice. Yeah, I want to steal that skill.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good choice, I think.
To have. Because you can be a professional piano player.
Yeah, come on. Then the world is my oyster. Alex, that does it for our final verdicts. If y'all got a similar opinion, different opinion, want to talk to us about a version we didn't talk about, of which there's a bunch of acoustic versions, hit us up on Twitter, #CoverMePod, @JakeTheCressy, @SomeAlexWiseGuy. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, suggestions for future episodes. You can also email us at covermepod@gmail.com. Talk to us there. Be sure to rate and review us. We're on Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon freaking Podcasts. Kind of still on Spotify, too. Use a different podcasting app than Spotify, though. Let's be real. Tell your friends, family about us. Tell your neighbors. Tell your loved ones. And much like in the film A Star Is Born, tell your first date about us. You're on a new date. You're searching for love. Let them know about Cover Me. Just be like, listen, if you're gonna understand me, you gotta understand this. And make them sit there for the full hour and a half, or 2.5 hours if you're listening to an old episode. Hold them down, and then when it's done, see where the relationship goes. That's what you can do this week to help us advertise. That does it for today's episode of Cover Me. And as we always say on Cover Me, crash through the surface where Cover Me can't hurt us. We're far from the podcast now.